Why? Why do you want to climb Everest?
It's a combination of
See,
possible avalanches.
now I actually knew how to do that. It's better than nothing, but no summit. We didn't summit it. It was, if I be honest with you, the expedition for me was easier than I expected because it takes crazy amount of physical fitness, mental endurance. The weakness that had come in my body, it did not leave me. But this was something. One or two steps and 15 minutes I had to sit.
Like, will you climb Everest again?
Hello everyone, another News Story Wednesday has arrived, and I am honored to present an exceptional journey of passion and resilience. In this episode, I sat with Parth Upadhyaya, an Indian mountaineer whose indomitable spirit and profound connection with the mountains reveal lessons far beyond summits. From braving raw challenges of the nature to discovering deep meaning in adversity, Parth's story is living proof of the power of dreams and determination. Join us as he takes us on an unforgettable expedition to the summit of the top of the world, Mount Everest. Enjoy the show.
Why? Why do you want to climb Everest?
Because it's there. There is one answer. So that's a funny answer.
Yeah.
But I don't have any particular reason like why you want to climb mountain, because it's top of the world, or those are not the answers I have. But I have got a clarity. I want to just eliminate mediocrity from my life.
Beautiful.
Yeah, tell me about you. What's like? When did you the first ever memory where you remember where you encountered snow at
Well,
altitude?
snow. That's a very interesting question. Uh, I think it was a family trip when I was around 11, 12 years old to Manali. And it was not a trek. We drove to Rotang Pass in Manali, and for the first time in my life I saw snow there, but that was not the time for me, that was not when I fell in love with it. It was a terrible experience for me, that snow, because because it was, the snow went inside my boots and I was freezing and I wanted to go in the car and I just wanted to go away from this cold. So that first time snow was really not the ideal introduction to the mountains. But I remember, even when I was young, I used to always want to go for small treks here and there. For example, in my village, there is a small mountain near my home. Small mountain as in 200, 300 feet, not more. Like, it's like now we can go up in 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It's like that. So, but back then it was a big mountain for me. And I used to always tell my father, whenever we went to the village, let's go up there, let's go up there. He used to be like, no, he hates all these things. But then he used to sometimes take me also to keep the, you know, to keep me happy. And yeah, and I would say at the age of 15, when I did a trek to a peak called Mount Kalsubai, which is the highest peak in Maharashtra, I think that was the time when I started falling in love with the concept of trekking. And that's when this thought came in my mind. I saw the sunrise from the top of Kalsubai, and I just thought, if the sunrise from this small mountain is like this, how would the sunrise be from the top of the world? And when I was going down from that mountain, from Kalsubai, all I could think as a 15-year-old, that no matter what it takes, I want to see the sunrise from the top of the world. Now, I'm not a sunrise guy, I'm not a sunset guy. I mean, it's not about a sunrise, but somewhere I realized that maybe in pursuit of this sunrise, I will grow as a human being, because somewhere instinctively we all know that in order to grow you have to put yourself through some form of suffering, do something which is bigger and harder than yourself. Then as a human being you grow. So somewhere instinctively we all know, and that's why, and that is what adventure is. Your life is too comfortable, so you make your life uncomfortable purposefully. That is adventure. पहाड़ों में जाके कोई शांति सुकून मतलब when you're there, okay, it's nice, but physically it's extremely hard, mentally sometimes it's extremely hard, so it's not all fun and games, right? So but we still do it because through that suffering, when we come out of it, we uncover our layers which we would have never been able to uncover in the comfort of the city. So somewhere this is why I climb mountains even today, man. I love the suffering, and I love what the suffering teaches me about myself. That's a very simple reason, an honest reason as to why I climb mountains.
So Everest, when did Everest happen?
Everest was in 2019, yeah. I climbed Everest at the age of 23, 24, something like that. And it was 9 years after this Kalsubai
Hmm.
trek. And in between all that, engineering and all these things you have to do. So I did all that. And after immediately after my engineering, I went for my basic mountaineering course. And after that course, my life changed in many ways, because now I had the skills needed to climb mountains. So far, I had just this dream, oh, I want to climb big mountains, tall mountains. Now I actually knew how to do that. So after I finished my basic course, I shifted to Ladakh for a couple of years, like not the full season, from April to October, something like that. Every year I used to go to just climb, man, just climb mountains after mountains. Because no matter how much physical fitness training you do, how much you go to the gym, how much you run, it's okay, it's better than nothing. But real time climbing mountains, it's a whole different training. Like if you want to be a swimmer, what will you do? You will swim. If you want to be a runner, what will you do? You will run. So if you want to be a mountaineer, you have to spend as much time in real mountains as possible. So for that purpose, I shifted in Ladakh. And I think over 22, 23 mountains above 6,000 meters I climbed in a span of 2 years, just back to back, back to back, back to back. I didn't have the money to go with organizers. So I went with friends, alpine style, no guides, no porters, carrying 35, 40 kg backpack on your own, figuring things out on your own. And that's how I that's how my initial mountaineering journey was like. All these mountains, like for example Mount Trishul, it's a 7,000-meter mountain. We went there in winters, the first ever winter expedition of a 7,000-meter peak in India. It was just three of us, no guides, no porters, nothing, and just going. I mean, that's the beauty, man. Very, very beautiful mountain. But no summit. We didn't summit it. It was very harsh weather conditions. Just three men.
Hmm.
It was nice.
So there must be like it's quite a good amount of struggle you must have gone through reaching the top of Mount Everest.
Yeah, man, and the if I be honest with you, the expedition for me was easier than I expected, because I had prepared so hard that when I was there, it was nice. Of course, a lot of things went wrong, which I will tell you about. And just for you to know, I climbed Everest from the Chinese side, from Tibet,
Hmm.
from North Face, not from the Nepal side. So that's a whole different experience from that side. But yes, man, the harder part of the journey was the preparation and the fundraising, because it takes crazy amount of physical fitness, mental endurance to and you can't be born with it. You have to build it over years and months. So the one thing that I used to do was climb these big mountains which I climbed. That's when I actually saw what bad weather means, or what bad health means, or what patience means, or what turning around just 50 meters below the summit because it is not safe means. Where you have to go through these things. Otherwise, you will not be a wholesome mountaineer. You will be a very dangerous person to be around if you've not gone through these experiences. And then if you go to peaks like Everest, then it's a very dangerous thing to do, because you are not prepared in some ways. All these difficult situations in mountains when you face, that's when you actually understand that, oh, mountaineering is not about just climbing, it's about micromanaging all these small things, small details, the bad times, the decisions that you take. how fast your mind thinks, how calm can you be under pressure. These are things you can only learn. So that's why I always talk about this on podcasts and insist people that you want to climb Everest, good, it's a good goal to have, but spend enough time to go through the right processes, do your courses, climb at least 5 6 mountains over 6,000 7,000 meters at least. Only then you'll get an idea of what mountaineering actually is. And after this, if we talk about experience, this is what I did. I climbed mountains after mountains. If we talk about physical fitness, for my physical fitness routine, I used to stay in a hill station near Mumbai before Everest a year, where because I had to be close to the city to be able to raise the funds also. So I couldn't
Yeah.
stay in the Himalayas. I wished I could, but us time pe I had to be near where the money is, and the money is in the cities. It's no money sitting in Ladakh, at least not that I know of.
Yeah.
So I used to wake up at around 4:30 in the morning for my training routine, and the morning used to be spent doing some pranayama, some breathing exercises, and some meditation. And after that, at around 5:30 in the morning, 5:30 or 6, something like that, I used to leave my house for either a long trek, or a long run, or a speed hike on some days, or some days weight leke hike karna. I used to put gallons of water and rocks in my bag, and and after a year of doing this, so what I used to do, I used to carry these rocks,
That's,
go up the mountain, and I used to drop the rocks there. I didn't want to climb down. So after a year, there was a huge pile of rocks at that place, and I used to be like, "अरे भाई इतने इतना पत्थर ऊपर लेके आया हूँ मैं एक साल में." It was crazy actually to see that, and you feel good about it, and you are like, "Damn, you." So this was like a marker of how many hours of work that I've put.
yeah.
When used to see that pile, I used to be like, okay, this is hundreds of hours of actual work which I can see in front
Mm.
of me. It's not a memory, it's a real thing in front of me, right? So that was the most beautiful part about it. And in the evenings, I used to go to a local gym to do some strength and conditioning exercises, workouts. So that used to be my physical routine. Of course, I explained it in very simple terms. It's
Yeah.
not that simple. It's a very scientific approach that you must take. Either you need a coach, or you need to be knowledgeable yourself if you are really looking for climbing big mountains and getting ready for it properly. Now I coach people to climb mountains. I have coached over 250 people so far with a 100% success rate, including clients who have climbed Everest. So yeah, it's a very needed thing in the world right now, because for example, if I wanted to get fit and I went to a gym, the gym
Mm.
trainer used to be like, oh, okay, I know I will make you fit for this. And what they used to make me do, lift weights and this and that. And it just, yes, like isometric. It's just like an idiot. You are standing and doing. What is the use of big biceps in mountains? No, the strength workout, or in general, the training for climbing mountains is very different. And it has to
Yes.
be, right? Every sport is very specific. You can't be a bulky bodybuilder kind of a guy and expect to climb mountains. No.
Yeah.
So this used to be my daily routine in a way, 5 to 6 hours a day on an average, morning and evening combined. And in between this, I used to work on the
Yeah.
fundraising part, right? So as I said, I used to stay around 1.5 hours away from Mumbai. After my training, I used to come home, cook some food for myself, pack it in my dabba, and leave to come to the city for meetings. For example, when you have to travel in Mumbai, the
Yeah.
fastest way is local train.
Yes.
So from there to here, 1.5 hours of crowded local trains, and then going to these meetings and hearing no after no after no, rejections after rejections, and then again catching that train, going back to make it in time for your evening workout session. Wake up next day, do the same thing. Wake up next day, do the same thing. So this is the hard part.
Yeah.
You understand? The mountain is not the hard part. And most people who dream about climbing Everest are not able to do it because they are not willing to go through this hard part of
Yeah.
waking up every day. Sorry, regardless of how you feel. Regardless of how you feel, you wake up, you put in the work. Even if you're facing rejections, you find new ways to, make it happen. Because most people, especially the young generation, they are too, they want everything too instantly. If it doesn't happen fast, they will lose interest. That's a very dangerous mindset to have. And such mindset will not climb any mountains to show, but they will not do anything significant in their life in whichever area they are in. They will remain mediocre for sure. That is the mindset which 99% people have. 99% people are very problem oriented mindset wale. What do I mean by that?
Yeah.
If there is a problem, there are two ways to look at it. Oh, there is a problem. Oh, life is so hard. People are not supporting me. Nobody is giving me money to climb mountains, this and that, victimizing mentality, always focusing on the problem. The other people are solution oriented people. That, okay, there's a problem. What's the solution? Use your brain, find solutions, don't become a victim. So, to lose this problem oriented mindset, I think that is the need of the hour for people who want to climb mountains. Because I get so many messages that bhaiya, we want to climb Everest. Then I say, okay, go to the courses, do this, do that, do this, do that. They're like, oh, we don't have time, we don't have money. I'm like, I didn't have time, I didn't have money also. So this is, what uh, is the hardest part, as I said. And yeah, after I think 1.5 years of daily trying to raise funds, somehow things happened here and there, through crowdfunding, through contributions, and through work that I was doing. And I had to take huge loans to, make this expedition happen. So it took me 4 years after the expedition to be able to repay the loans. So I didn't give any excuses. I wanted to climb means I wanted to climb. I will take a loan, I will kidnap you and sell your kidneys if the need be. I would go to that extent. So that's the mindset one needs to have. It's do or die, plan A or die. There's no plan B. So
Yes.
yeah, then the funds came into place, and that's how the pre-Everest experience was.
Three years. Yeah, trust me, I know. I know what
Yeah,
you
I'm
have
sure, man.
gone through all those
Yeah,
days,
yeah,
because it's a kind of similar journey in my life as well. You have to undergo all this kind of consistent everyday beating.
yeah, exactly. No escape. Consistency means moving ahead no matter what forces are pulling you on the sides.
I've been to Everest Base Camp a
Hmm.
number of times,
Hmm.
alone all the time, every time. My first actually life actually began with Everest Base Camp trek. So, what do you see there when you go and then look from Kalapathar? What is your feeling?
Bro, it's not at Kalapathar where this happens. It is at the Namche Everest
Uh,
viewpoint where
yeah,
you first see Everest. And bro, we've been there 8 9 times. I keep leading groups there, and I'm going there in 2 3 days now again to base
yeah.
camp. I told you I think I'm going to Nepal, and you are also starting your new project.
Mhm.
So it's that place, Everest viewpoint. Every time I have gone there, it's just
Goosebumps.
tears of goosebumps and tears, man, tears. My sunglasses gets full, and my
Yeah.
clients are there, and they're like, "What the hell happened to him?" I'm like, "You will never understand because this mountain has given me everything. Whatever I am since the age of 15, it is because of this mountain. It was the dream of this mountain that changed the direction of my life. It was the journey that I went through for this mountain which made me into a resilient, strong, better person. And it is the experiences on this mountain in 2019 that completely changed my life internally and externally. So it's like you meeting your creator. Everest has created me in so many ways, you know. So when I see that mountain every time, man, I know the view, I know the mountain will look the same, but it's like a wave of energy which comes, and then you just are so thankful to this mountain for coming into your life, right? That's how I always feel. I'm so thankful that this mountain came in my life. And hundreds and thousands of people dream about climbing this mountain, but only a few people are able to do it. And I just feel very lucky that why did Everest open its gates for somebody as stupid as me? I mean, I feel so lucky, and I'm just always thankful. Okay, thank you. That's the feeling always, man.
I can understand what you are trying to convey. And what are the like after Everest? What happened?
Yeah, after Everest, I went to Annapurna 1 in Nepal in 2021. We could not summit because of many reasons. So I had a very bad spell of diarrhea when I was leaving for my summit push from the base camp se nikla, and somehow
Hmm.
diarrhea and vomiting started. For the summit push, acclimatization happened well, everything happened well. And just 3 days before summit, when I left the base camp, diarrhea and vomiting started very badly. And somehow reached camp 1, took antibiotics, and diarrhea, vomiting stopped overnight. But the weakness that had come in my body, it did not leave me. At that altitude to recover, it's extremely hard, man. It's very hard to recover at 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 meters, so with that weak body, I pushed to camp 2. With that weak body again, I pushed to camp 3. And with that weak body, next day, I still pushed to almost camp 4. And up now, the condition was such that one step, 15-minute break.
Ah,
One step, 15 minute. It's and then I was like, something is wrong. This is not okay. Everybody is slow. It's okay. And I know what's a slow pace, what's a good slow pace. But this was something. 1 or 2 steps and 15 minutes I had to sit. I'm like, okay, this is not good. I was so close to the summit, man. I could see the summit, I have pictures of, from that point. But I was like, Parth, if this was happening to your friend here, what would you tell him or her? I would be like, go down now. So why is the advice or decision any different for me? you know that's how I thought up there, because it's a very hard decision, man. Since 2019, after Everest, to 2021, 2 years I trained and raised the funds to climb Annapurna 1. It's the hardest mountain, the most dangerous 8,000-meter mountain. You've done the acclimatization, you've done everything, and just a couple of hours away now. But I was like, okay, even if with full oxygen, if I use, I may make it to the summit, but I will not have enough energy to come down. That is something I knew 100%. Because the route between camp 3 and camp 2, extremely dangerous. It's a route which I have never seen on any other mountain anywhere. Such a terrain, such a hard route, and I've climbed a lot of mountains. ये कुछ और ही था from camp 2 to camp 3 of Annapurna. So I was like, if I'm getting down, I need to be in my senses. I can't be I can't be half out of my mind and tired and this and that. So I was like, okay, I need to conserve myself to reach down. And so that's when I took this very hard decision of turning around. It happened to be my birthday that day, and I was hoping to stand on the summit of Annapurna on my birthday, but here I was going away when all my friends were going up. It was the perfect weather window, but health was not on my side. Somewhere the mountains will was not there. So I just went down. It was a very hard day, very hard decision. I don't regret it, but the pain always. After that, I went to Manasulu in 2022.
okay.
Again, no summit, because the weather that year, if you have been for like 2 years back,
I
was
know,
the
I know.
most worst weather that Manasulu had seen in the last 50 years. That's what the Sherpa was saying to us. And my Sherpa died in the avalanche that had happened there. So it was a very bad 20-25 days, and we were like, it's not worth it, man. It's few people here and there submitted, but we were like, no, this is absolutely stupid. they had some projects and some sponsors and liabilities and responsibilities and this and that. That's why they pushed to make the summit happen. I won't take names; they are all my friends. But I was, the decisions that they took up there was terrible. When everybody, hundreds of people were like, "No, we are not going up because it is not safe." These people went up, and then avalanches happened, and it was a disaster. So yeah, Manasulu happened and no summit again. So
You reached
that's
Camp 4 of Manaslu that 2022
yeah,
September.
yeah. No, Camp 3.
Camp 3.
We
Yes.
were one day behind them, right? So they were ahead of us to fix the ropes and to, set up the Camp 4. So because they were ahead of us, they were the ones caught up in that avalanche. And that's why this, it was such a heartbreaking accident. Is it worth it to die in the mountains? Before that, I was young and stupid, 23, 24. You are like full of fire and no brains. It's good. It's a good combination.
Yeah.
But now I'm 29, almost about to turn 30, and then you ask some questions. You have responsibilities, you have parents. I'm also engaged. So your life is not about you only now. You have a kid. So you understand what I'm saying. And to be able to still go and climb mountains, it takes a lot of courage. So for some time after that Manasulu expedition, I wanted to take a pause from 8,000-meter climbing, because at that point the risks did not seem like it is worth. No, because just this one thought: if I die, I'm dead. It will not affect me. I mean, it's my game is over. I won't know a thing. How would my parents' faces be when they are looking at my dead body? Do I want to ever put them in that situation? No. So maybe I've gone a little soft, but
Mm. Camp 4 of Manaslu is beautiful. It's like
yeah,
space. Yeah, it's like space. There is a nice, it's a kind of small, cool,
yeah.
safe zone for camping. No avalanche
Wow.
threat, nothing. And you can actually roam around. It's like a little bit, it's an elevation only, but that's a
Hmm.
very nice place. So people who summit from Camp 3, they go from a
Yeah,
different, and
yeah.
Camp 4 they go and then camp there and then go from there. I
Wow.
lived there for more than 13, 14 hours. I slept there in Camp 4. And
Yeah.
then but below that, it is Camp 3 to Camp 4 is a bit of it's a combination of
It's steep.
possible avalanches, slipping,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it can
yeah,
anything can happen because there is
yeah,
a
yeah.
overhang. We have to go under the cornice,
Correct,
so that's
correct.
a
So
dangerous
that,
spot.
yeah, that cornice fell this
This
during
one,
our time.
if you can sleep good night sleep in Camp 4, or a good 6 hours sleep in Camp 4, your summit is confirmed.
Sorted, yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, I'm planning to go
Yeah,
there
if you can
hopefully
sleep.
next year to finish the unfinished business. Let's see.
Unfortunately, we have to live with that hard thought process of unfinished business. Sometimes they might not happen.
Yeah, it's a lot of waiting. You have to wait at least 1 year, go
One
through
year.
all the circle again, at least 1 year. And then now it's already been 2 years
2 years.
since Manaslu. So,
So yeah, that's the story of my Manaslu. But it was,
yeah, yeah.
for me, it went well. There was no headache throughout the journey, no
Wow.
illness, nothing.
Perfect. Perfect, man.
And like I from summit, everybody got this. People will get the burns, right?
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
sunburns, but I didn't even get that one also. I don't know.
Really?
Surprisingly, when I came down, I asked, "Did you really climb this mountain? Or you just?"
Yeah.
The face was normal, and of course, I lost a lot of weight. You
Yeah,
get
of course. Of course.
stronger but thinner. Appetite is
Yeah,
like
yeah,
so
yeah.
much, but
Yeah.
still you get thinner. Something
You're
like
burning a lot of calories just to stay
that.
alive there,
Yeah.
just for the body to keep you warm. It
Mm.
takes a lot of calories. How do you know Bharatanna?
Bharat is like we are very close friends
Mm-hmm.
from a long. I know him from only 2021, but I contacted him when I'm trying to get some support for Manaslu climb. I messaged him on Instagram asking for some boots and crampons if somebody actually boots and crampons for my climb. If we can arrange, but it didn't happen. They were climbing noon at that time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
After that, he replied. He called me. By the time I have already arranged my boots and
Yeah.
crampons and summit suit.
I did a podcast with him
Yeah,
also
yeah.
on my
I,
YouTube.
I saw it, but I didn't watch it fully because
Yeah.
somehow it got slipped. But otherwise, I watch all the podcasts that
Oh,
you publish.
okay.
Yeah, recently, Rajan Dwivedi, right? The guy
Yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
Kang. I
Yeah, yeah.
saw it fully. I posted a comment also. Even Skalzang, Rigzin Bhai.
Reason why, yeah, yeah, we did a podcast when I was in Ladakh this year,
Yes.
this August. So he had just come back from Kun, and I was like, "Let's meet and let's record something." He was like, "Record what for?" I'm like, "Just two friends sitting together having a conversation." Even you did a podcast with him. I saw he's a
Yeah,
very uh, amazing, phenomenal guy.
amazing person. Amazing means very inspiring person.
Yes, very
Very.
balanced.
So what's next then? Now what's going on?
Man, now I'm working, and my work is again related to climbing mountains itself. I do a couple of things. One is I lead treks and expeditions through a company which me and my partner have started, Phoenix Experiences. So through that, we have treks and expeditions running throughout the year almost. Apart from that, I'm also training and coaching people to climb mountains. That's an ongoing thing. I think close to 40 people are training currently with me. So that's another thing. And then I make videos on YouTube, which is something I personally like to do because there's so much here to be shared. And when I started making videos, I was like, who will listen to me? Why will they listen to me? But actually, people saw some value in what I was saying. So I thought, okay, let's do this. It's helping some people here and there. And apart from this, I also give motivational sessions in schools, colleges, corporates, conferences, in various clubs. And so that is something which is ongoing. So right now, the focus is to set up a foundation financially because almost all my 20s I only spent money, lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of rupees on climbing mountains. So when all my friends or the entire generation of entire group of 20s, they are only focusing on earning and working, I was focusing on spending. So now I'm like, okay, this needs to change a bit. Some stability is required because responsibilities come as you age as a man. So that is something which I am sorting out. And of course that is through climbing mountains. So I'm always in the mountains. I can't stay away from the mountains, man. I either I have to do it for myself or I am doing it for work, but I can't stay away. I've been in the city since the last 6 weeks, and bro, I'm getting crazy. I'm getting depressed. I'm getting angry. I'm getting irritable. Just want to leave the city, man. You know, not 1 second goes when you don't hear the sound of horn honking. Yeah, in terms of mountaineering, in this upcoming spring, I have one or two 8,000ers which I wish to do in Nepal. So once I'm back from this Everest base camp trek, the training will start on that. So November, December, Jan, Feb, March. These 5 months would be dedicated to training and, of course, raising the funds. So, yeah, very excited. It's been 2 years since I've been to an 8,000er, and it's been two, not successful 8,000ers.
Like, will you climb Everest again?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I will only climb if I'm getting paid to do so. For example, if I'm leading a client or if, there's some other project whose part I am, then yes. Otherwise, I have personally no desire to climb Everest because I've already done it and I have had perfect experience. The kind of experience that everyone dreams to have. It's the kind of experience I had there. So there is nothing that did not happen, or there is nothing that I'm looking for more on Everest. But if as part of work it comes, definitely I would like to climb from the Nepal side, because I've not been from Nepal side yet. So that would be a interesting this in 2026. Two of my clients will be attempting to climb Everest, who I'm training right now. So they want me to lead them. So we are figuring it out how that can happen, because it's a lot of expense, right? Even for them, and then for me also, if they are paying plus my fee. So hopefully, if logistics get sorted, then I will for sure love to go there, man. Why not?
So how was it like from Camp 4? From so you guys you came from Rongbuk Monastery side, right? That side.
Yes, from Rongbuk Monastery,
Rongbuk.
the highest camp is Camp 3.
Mm.
It's base camp, middle camp, advanced base camp, Camp 1, Camp 2, Camp 3. So Camp 3 is 8,300 meters. It's the
Yeah,
highest camp in the whole world.
yeah.
The South Col on Nepal side is 7,950 meters, something like that. This is 8,300 meters. You are camping at, you're camping above Manasulu, you're camping above Annapurna, you're camping above Dholagiri, above Choyu. Not many peaks above 8,300 meters. I think there are only three or four peaks which go above that altitude. So you are already higher than most 8,000ers, and you're camping there. It's a very crazy camp up there, man. This Camp 3 is completely rocky and very steep slope. So we reached there at around 1:30 in the afternoon from Camp 2, and spent the evening resting and recovering, because we were going to leave just after sunset, because it's a long climb. uh, though the altitude is less gain compared to Nepal side, but it is horizontally a long distance. Like, you from Camp 3, you catch the ridge, and then you traverse the ridge, and the terrain is extremely technical at many sections. On the Tibetan side, bro, the step 1, step 2, step 3, so difficult they are. And okay, if that terrain was on sea level, it would not be a problem. But you are doing those maneuvers at 8,600, 8,700, 8,800 meters. Extremely hard. Like, after climbing second step, for example, we had to take a break of 15 minutes. All of us, not just me, that I got exhausted. Everybody was, it was very hard to explain to people, how small efforts feel at high altitude, but very well. But people will never understand what it means to just to take a step and be completely out of breath. And yeah, it was a very nice climb. We didn't have many people. I was ahead of everybody, so it was just me walking ahead by myself, completely by myself. Yeah, man, we saw around 16 dead bodies on the way. The northeast ridge is known for its display of dead bodies. It's very crazy, man. That's when I promised myself, Parth, this is not a place where you can make even one mistake. And when you see dead bodies lying down like this, then you are like, shit. You realize where you are. Before that, you're just like, okay, it's hard, it's dangerous. You just think. But when you see it, you're like, shit, it's real. It's real dangerous, right? So that's when summiting, or the joy of summiting, means nothing to you. Your safety coming back home means more to you than summiting. So when I saw that body, I was like, okay, I got out of my lala land of, oh, I'm gonna climb Everest. No, 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 no. You have to get down this mountain safely, Parth. That's the best thing you can do. So that's a whole different switch which happens, when you see death. And where else will you come across dead bodies just in your way, unless you are in a war zone or something like that? You don't see such things anywhere in the world. That's the thing which kept on lingering in my head, that it can be me also if I make one mistake. If my oxygen malfunctions, or if I slip, or if I do any stupid things, I'm dead. At around 4:45 in the morning, we reached this final slope, from where we see the summit now, like just 50 feet, 40, 50 feet away from the summit. And That's when it hits you, that, oh shit, now you are actually going to make it. Now there is nothing that will stop you, before that there is always a doubt that something can happen, somebody will fall sick, maybe I will fall sick, maybe this, maybe that, maybe weather will get bad. But now, at that point, at that last slope, you're like, okay, shit, I've actually made it. And that's, I think that's something which I had been dreaming about since 9 years, that how will I feel when I'm on that final slope? Because, okay, reaching the summit is nice, but that final slope, when you're walking, it's like a, it's very hard to explain, man. It's better than standing on the summit was that final slope, that's so. Yeah, we reached summit at 5 in the morning, and it was only me on the top at that point. And I saw a very beautiful sunrise from up there. And I just remembered, as a 15-year-old, I wanted to see the sunrise from the top of Mount Kalsubai, you know. And here it was 9 years later, and very strangely, 23rd May was the day when I climbed Kalsubai also, 10 years ago, 9 years ago. And 23rd May 2019, I was standing on the summit of Everest, from Kalsubai to summit of Everest, sunrise dream, same dates, and I just realized the simple power of a dream, that somebody like me, and when I say somebody like me, somebody who has no background in adventure, no background in sports, all my family were in medical professions since the last 5 generations. So if somebody like me can do Everest just by this little dream that I saw, then whatever dreams people have in this lifetime, the only question is how willing they are to put in the work, you know regardless of how they feel, regardless of what problems come. So if I can do it, yeah, I mean that, yeah, it was a very very wonderful experience up there. The view was very nice, the sunrise was very beautiful, and we could see that triangular shadow, the famous pictures that I've seen. Even I took a photo of that shadow. It was exactly like that. It was exactly like that, like we see in the pictures, better actually, 100 times better in with your eyes, yes, it's like 100 times more magnified, more real. It's beautiful, man, it's beautiful. And then we were going down after some time, and yeah, I met Nims also on the summit that day. That is when his project was happening, Project Possible in 2019. He climbed from Nepal side,
Yeah.
and I met him on the top, and I'm like, yeah, we knew each other since before, so it was nice to see him. So this Nepal trip, I might get a chance to do a podcast with Nims.
Why not?
I've yeah. I've been wanting to do that, and he has done only one podcast. So with Joe Rogan,
Eurogan,
So
yes.
yeah, so second one, inshallah, would be with me. And no, bro, yeah, I always get comments on my YouTube saying that, oh, Everest is easy, there are fixed lines, and you are Jumar climbers. I'm like, so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, this perception is there that Everest has become easy and this and that, but only we know that how hard it still is, man. And though the services has gotten better for sure, the safety standards have gotten better for sure, but the mountain is still as high, it is still as cold, the oxygen is still as less. People don't, yeah, people can say what they want to say, man.
Whatever they want to say. How can it become easy? You have to cross the forever
Yeah, yeah.
changing glacier, and then further you go to this 6,000 meters where you start to actually face this AMS, mountain sickness, and then further it goes a steep climb and then cross crevasses. One mistake, game over. Then,
Game
yeah.
over, game over.
Anyway,
100%. Yeah, I mean, it gets easier in the sense you can prepare better, and the services are better for sure.
yes,
So in these ways, it has gotten better. The equipments, the gears are better now. So these things, of course, help you, but it's not easy. People say it's ये तो easy है, सब लोग जाते हैं, भीड़ होती है ऊपर, अरे घोचू, भीड़ मतलब these are 300 people who have worked for years to
yes,
get here. Don't look at 300 as a number. They are individuals who have put in years and years and years of time, effort, money, dreams to get there. They don't see this. They look at, 300 people are there.
and you get only one window of opportunity.
One window of opportunity. Correct. Absolutely.
So next year we might see you in on two of the summits.
Uh, maybe let's say I'm keen on doing, because I want to go through the Khumbu, and I want to climb in the Everest region. It's been long, so planning to do that. You're planning Dholagiri?
I don't know, but I don't know if it comes. But I want to be ready for that, so I'm working on that part. Whenever
Same,
it
same,
happens,
man.
yeah.
You have to keep
Dhaulagiri,
working.
I want to do it. Let's see what happens. I don't know because it's all about not climbing the mountain. It's all about climbing the pile of this color paper, money.
पैसा
Yeah.
है तो बड़ी बड़ी बात है.
So let's see. See,
Yeah.
that's not in our hands. So let's see. Like, just be ready for the physically and mentally be ready.
Yes.
When
Absolutely.
the financial comes, you just grab that opportunity and then spend it.
I got the sponsorship for Annapurna 4 hours before my flight.
Exactly. Yes.
Can you imagine? So if I had not prepared till the last day,
Hmm.
I would not be prepared. So you just have to keep doing the work. Things happen, man. कहीं ना कहीं से कुछ ना कुछ हो जाता है.
हो
You
जाता है.
know, the universe is very giving to people who are really trying their best.
Yeah, I've got some coincidences like that. I have got some
Mm.
experiences.
Mm.
Yeah, in my jet, some in my cycling journey, but we will
Mm.
talk about it later.
Yes, that's a whole different thing which I would also like to speak to you about. Maybe you can come on my podcast and we can talk about your experiences, especially the cycling one, because that's something I would be interested to know, because you pass through such amazing landscapes in India, and when you are traveling slowly, you experience the land, the culture, the people in a much better way. That would be a very nice conversation for us to have.
But this discussion is about you.
Hmm.
I want to know all
Hmm.
these things like that crazy experience because I dream about Everest. I dream, I live, I sleep, I eat about those
Good.
thoughts. Everything
Hmm.
is about one day I want to be because it's top of the world. It has got its own significance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a reason enough. It's the
Mm,
bloody top of the world. Khatam.
yeah.
That's the best reason, right? Yeah.
So that's the thing. So I just want to listen your the summit experience. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, when you see these things, the idea that you came here for summit now means nothing in front of life and death. And when you come down, you have that joy that okay, you have summited the world's highest mountain, but you have paid a huge price in order to do that. So I left Everest with a very mixed feeling. And when I came back to Mumbai, the whole world was celebrating me. Like, everybody who I met was like, "Oh, Everest, you've climbed Everest! Wow, wow, wow!" But within me, I'm like, "No, man, it's really not a big deal, because I know I didn't do anything. The mountains kept me safe. The mountains allowed me. I felt so insignificant up there that you don't feel you've done something very big. You are like, okay, shit. Yeah. Before I went, I was like, yes, I'm gonna conquer the top of the world and this and that. But you come down like this, okay, I have not conquered shit. I'm just happy to be alive. And this is the shift that Everest did for me. It really made me so grounded, so rooted, so silent. And that all that arrogance and ego that a youth has, all that was taken away by Mother Everest. Yes. So yeah, that was Everest for me, man.
I have no words.
No, no, man.
Congratulations on that
No, no,
part.
absolutely, man. And you also keep, you know taking one step at a time, and it will happen. There is no reason why it should not happen. It's a matter of time, and I look forward to seeing that day when I see a post or your message that, oh, done Everest. It would be nice to see.
Good things take time, you know.
Yes, and it should.
It should
It
take time.
should take time.
So, really, congratulations for this big, consistent, this successful climb of Mount Everest, and congratulations on the Phoenix expedition's
Thank
inception.
you.
And I have many more questions, but the Everest story itself is a full package
Yeah, yeah,
of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
inspiration that you gave me today. So, on that note, I would like to end this podcast
Okay.
today. And all the very
Awesome.
best for your future
You
climbs. And
too.
uh, yeah, someday I will, when I come to Bombay, I will meet you in person,
Please,
and
please, and we
then,
will record a podcast in person. Okay,
and
face
yeah,
to face.
yeah,
That would be nice. And man, had a very wonderful time talking to you. And it's always nice to talk to a mountaineer because whatever I'm saying, you actually understand. So it's always refreshing to connect with somebody. And wishing you all the best, also, man. And stay in touch. Yeah.
yeah, I will
And
be in touch, and yeah, we'll see what we can do. Maybe some climbing someday.
100%, 100%, man. Let's make it happen.